Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing wonderfully well. It is the 4th of November 2020 and we have our latest patch for DCS World. This one is a really big one. So each line in here is a thing that's been changed in DCS World, fixed, added, whatever. If you're the kind of guy that likes to go through everything, then I'll give you the link and you can go and get that. But what we've done for you is picked out 40 or 50 or so that we think you really need to know about. And this is our selection here. The blue ones we will show off in this video here, and the black ones are going to have their own separate video because they're too large to cover in this video alone. So, DCS General, non-module specific. First of all, the AGM-84A and D Harpoon, which is relevant to, for instance, the FA-18C, increased seeker search range from 28 kilometers, how it was before, to 45 kilometers, about 25 miles. This means the flight profile of the missile will change. That point where it turns on its own radar, finds the target, ducks down to low altitude, and then goes in on a terminal trajectory has been increased from about 28 kilometers to 45 kilometers. So you will see some differences in the way these harpoons work, presumably because this is what they do in real life. Next, AI emergency procedures, ditching on water is added. So aircraft, as far as I'm aware, all of them in DCS controlled by AI will now have the intelligence to ditch in the water. I didn't want to show that, but what I wanted to show you is that you can also ditch, and this isn't particularly new, but it's something I've not covered before. If you're a human player, you can ditch in the water and survive. We're in FA-18C over the ocean. We're about to have a major malfunction. I accidentally got my sleeve caught on these here and we've lost our engines, which is absolutely terrible news. We're going to have to ditch. Ooh, ping! Water landing! Quick, get out of the plane, get out of the plane, open the canopy. I should have used my emergency. I wonder if it would actually open in real life. Wouldn't that be interesting? If we could kind of go against the pressure. Actually, and I'm alive. I'm not blown up or anything. I can sit here talking to my guys. Hello, come and rescue me. Come and rescue me. And I can probably still get out. I ejected and it just blasted me out of the water, I see. Oh, and I'm dead now. Yeah, I wonder what would... God, so many what-if questions. Because if you try to eject... If you try to eject underwater, it would just smash you to pieces, the pressure of the water. Anyway, yeah, that's that. This one, heavily requested, and I'm glad it's here. Mission Editor. Added the ability to set engagement range of SAMs in % of full range. And this is important because a real SAM wouldn't necessarily fire at you, lock onto you at maximum range. It may wait for you to get close and then fire. In fact, that's the most likely way it will be used, as history teaches us. Here is an SA6. We click on the guy here. We're going to add an advanced waypoint action associated with waypoint 0, which is its base waypoint. Add. We're going to go to set option here. Action, we're going to go to intercept range, maximum 100%, or we could say 50% of his range, or 3% of his range. Now you're probably wondering, oh, percent's not much use, I want to put miles in, but they couldn't do that because remember, the range of any SAM site is dynamic. It depends on the altitude of the hostile, the aspect of the hostile, the maneuvering of the hostile, the speed of the hostile, and so on. So they have to do it in a percent. Multiplayer, select role window, added filters and search box for slots. We're in a completely valid multiplayer server here. We've tested this with other multiplayer servers just to make sure. But what we've got, if we go to escape, we go to select role in multiplayer, we are now in the select role screen. What we do have is the ability to filter these guys here. So all the different flights we've got here, we can filter them by group, up and down, unit type, up and down, position, if there was any differences, country, if there's any differences, flight number, airfield, player. There's no players in at the moment, but we've not got what it says, which is search box for slots. Looked around here and there is no obvious way of bringing up a search box for slots. So let me know what you guys think about that, but we can't find that. Next, AI's optical sensors will take into account the blindness by sun. And we haven't had time to test this one out to prove it. We'll do it in a proper question video, but it is interesting that they've implemented that and we'll see how effective that is when we test it properly. Next one that we've just realized we needed to cover and add is Mission Editor. We have the ability to show and hide full coalitions. So we're in a busy map here with two main coalitions. We're going to go to customize. We're going to go to map options. We've got hide units here. We can hide the blue coalition. We can hide the red coalition, we can hide the neutral coalition. Interestingly, we've also got show units here. Now, that's a force override. So if you've got, for instance, a bunch of blue units that are hidden on the map, and if you're into mission editing, you'll know what I mean, you can override them and force show them on like that. I don't have anything hidden here, but that's why or how that works. Next, channel map. Since the channel map came out, obviously it's been reported that we cannot change the temperature. It's always been 0 degrees Celsius, which has caused problems with freezing of pitot tubes and stuff like that. It's now changed so that we can change the temperature. We're in the channel map mission editor here. If we click on this guy here, we're in January, and we can go up to 30 degrees Celsius, and we can go down to ping 9 degrees Celsius, and if you change it to summer, you can go up to 30 degrees Celsius and down to 9 degrees Celsius. Next, AV-8B by Razbam. Two really big subcategories. One, auto, so Ccrp release mode. And we've got a new procedure regarding anything that can use the auto release mode. We're going to do a separate video for that because it's too big to cover in this video. Also, updated T-Pod functionality to Generation 4 integration with aircraft systems. So we had, I think this is right, don't quote me on this, I think we had a Generation 1 T-Pod. We're now upgrading to the next generation, and a whole bunch of stuff has changed on the AV-8B T-Pod. Again, we'll have a separate video for this, which brings me on to another important point, and that is that it's becoming too difficult to do the old style tutorial vids that we used to do, because even planes that are not in early access, like the AV-8B, like the Mirage, are constantly changing for whatever reason, and constantly will be changed in the future. And for instance, so they've changed the auto release. All of a sudden, we've got about 5 old tutorials that need changing, and the T-Pod, we've got about 8 tutorials that need changing. So we're going to have to move to a Matt Wagner type format for the videos that just says, okay, this has been updated, that's been updated, because it's simply not sustainable to carry on as we were. But we'll do the best we can to cover everything still. Next, this one we actually need your help with. We haven't managed to get hold of Deca, and we can't understand and find out what this is. But JF17 removed blank angle for air-to-ground radar because no SAR feature. If you can contact us with that, and if it's a big change, let us know, and we'll cover that so that everyone can see. Thank you. Next, Hornet, 6 big changes, and we're going to cover them probably in one video, so we'll have that again in a separate video. Next, the F-16C Viper, and we've added harm loading options for stations 4 and 6. So previously we could have the 88C on pylons 3 and 7 only, and now we can have them on 4 and 6, so up to 4 AGM-88Cs. Also, we've had some options added in for the AGM-65 G, D, H and K, and we'll go and cover that in a separate video. Next, the A10C2 tank killer. A whole load of stuff has been changed from how it was a month ago. Again, we'll cover that in a separate video. Next, the P47D Thunderbolt. The water injection system has now been added. We're currently in a P47D-40. We're currently on idle. If I were to push the throttle up to maximum, you can see we can get a maximum manifold pressure of, well, whatever it is there. Because I've got it on pause, it's slightly low. For us actually moving, I could get above 50. But watch what happens if we now press this little guy here on the end, and you'll need the bindings to it. We've got to press and hold E, water injection, or to toggle it on and off, we've got left, alt and T. So if I were just to press and hold, watch this. I get a massive increase in manifold pressure. Also, you can see my water pressure gauge going up here. This is our, if you like, wartime emergency power. It gives us extra power for while we have water to use. And if we let go, off, on, off. And if we hold it and then press the toggle button that we looked at, you can toggle it on, so it's on all the time, and untoggle, and it's off again, and you can just push it when needed. Next, World War II Asset Pack by ED. Recently added, we have the M1 37mm, which we can drive, and we will do in a minute. We've got the M45 quad mount, which we'll go and drive in a minute. We can't drive this one, but we've got this AA here, and it's the QF 3.7 incher. We've also got drivable Daimler armoured car, and the M4 high-speed tractor, the LT Mark 7 Tetrarch, again drivable, and we've got the FU-MG 401 Freya radar system. I should say also moved from the World War II Asset Pack module to the base game that we all get, the A-20G bomber, the Flak 18, that's the German 88mm, the first version of it, the Bofors 40mm, the Panzer Mark IV, the Sherman, the SD KFRZ 251, the M2A1, the Blitz 3.6-6700A, and the Bedford MWD. So please make use of them. In game now, let's go and have a bit of shooty. M37. So it kind of reminds me, it's a bit Bofors like. Look at the little guy turning his handle. That's awesome. Pretty awesome graphics. Oh, and the other guy does the elevation, look. Oh, power, get some! Very cool, very cool. We've got them on the cliffs of Dover, so that's a cool place for them. Alright, we've got the quad barrel now, and you guys are going to have to tell me whether they're M2s or M3s or what they are, but I can tell you one thing, they are frigging awesome. Get some! Get some! Get some, Jenkins! Wow, how much ammo? 3,200 rounds of half-inch. Okay, let's try the Daimler armoured car. So, we are the driver at the moment. You would usually press turret select to get into the actual turret for the gun. Now, that's not working at the moment, so presumably that's going to be camming. I'm not entirely sure. So, at the moment, we can drive around. And what is pretty awesome looking little car. Oh, don't have a topple. Don't have a topple. It's a tough old thing, I should say.
Yeah, no damage.
No damage, that's fine. Not fully programmed yet. Work in progress. That'll actually be really good. When that's fixed and you can use the turret and stuff, that'll be cool. Tractor. Apparently we've got a tractor. Wow, look at that. I never even knew that existed, RC. No, that is not a tractor in the way we know it. That's cool. So we've got turret for an M2 and M3. I always get them mixed up. Okay. And I can drive from this position as well. That's cool.
It's like a precursor to an armored personnel carrier.
It's weird, isn't it? It's called a tractor. I don't really know why, but it is.
And try the damage model.
We're going for the damage model. Hashtag, this is probably almost certainly work in progress in terms of damage models. But I reserve the right to smash it up anyway. Get some, baby! I like the way it flips back up. Can it go in the sea? Yes! Look at that.
Does it actually move in the sea?
Yeah, it does. It drives, because trapped vehicles can drive in the sea.
As long as they can float.
That's cool. I like that. This guy here, which again I haven't heard of. What am I in? What am I in? Okay, a very light Victor. Very light tank. What kind of gunner we got? Ooh, it's got a big boom boom on it. Doesn't say the size. Yes, it does. 40 mil. Let's go. This is a nippy little thing. Boom. Okay, I've got armor piercing, BC, whatever that is, tracer. Try that. Oh yeah, I can see the tracer. Boom! And then I've got high explosive tracer on the castle, or near enough. There it is. Boom! And I've got just those two rounds. And have I got a different gun? No, I don't seem to have a machine gun and no other turret at the moment. Okay, that's a nice little thing. What else have we got? The radar, and we cannot drive the radar. And let's have a quick look at the gun. Oh, look, it's firing on its own accord. I have no idea what it's firing at. What's it firing at?
Is there a plane
That's
out
convenient,
there?
Isn't it? There's a P-17. It just happens.
Okay. I
didn't even program that in.
Must have been from something else.
I reserve the right to take the credit for that, RC. Wow. So this is going to be the equivalent of what? The German 88mm? I'm guessing?
Probably.
3.7 inches. I can't do that in my head. But it must be about the same, roughly the same as 88mm. High velocity rifle bore. Someone else is firing. Oh yeah, the 37mm is firing as well. Very cool, very cool. And the German, or the radar, which yes, it must be German, is just sitting there scanning for the B-17 as well. How interesting. Okay, that's our new unit. Unit's obviously work in progress, but let's face it, it looks pretty awesome. And finally, for this month, F14b Tomcat by Heapler. The way that the AIM-54 works in various scenarios has changed. It's big, it's complex, and it needs proper explaining. We will do that in a separate video. So those other separate videos will come out in the next few days. But for now, we're done. I hope that was useful and see you later.